good. Mel looks so good. Hey guys, it's your girl Aisha, aka Geek XX Chic, and we are back with another reaction to Arcane, the final season. We are now on season 2, episode 8, which is called Killing is a Cycle. I feel like we're not going to have as idyllic of an episode this time around. Not that any of these have ever been that idyllic, but either way, last episode we got to see what happened to all the people who disappeared in the Hex Tech room. Jace had a really hard time, whereas Echo and Heimerdinger had a much better time, but in the end, everybody except for Heimerdinger wanted to go back to their OG timeline because they felt like there was things that they needed to do. Jace to try to save the world, and Echo to kind of basically figure out how to fix his world. So very interested to see where we're going to come in this episode. Maybe we're going to jump back to everybody else that's back in the OG timeline, but I'm really ready for everyone to converge because it's one of my favorite things in shows like this. So let's jump into the episode, but just before I do, a reminder that if you'd like to be in the know of when I drop these episodes, please go ahead and hit that subscribe button as well as the notification bell. All right, that out of the way, let's get into the episode right now. Oh, we're back to Mel. I miss my queen. New suit, who this? Is Mel a Titan? Oh, that was badass. Oh, I love that it's gold. Even her nails, okay. Wait, they literally had her chained up? This looks so cool. All of it, I love it.
There is no time like your first.
Who the hell are you?
An empath, attuned to the ethereal, able to sense others' inner selves and bend their magic. A conduit and a mirror.
Ooh, I like it.
Even now you hide your true face behind illusions.
Truth is the greatest illusion of them all.
Ew, never mind, put on the mask again.
Your power has merit.
But should one want you dead, a simple blade would do nicely.
Where is my brother?
Okay, it's a good thing to let her know she's not immortal.
You killed him.
I gave Ambessa every opportunity to atone for her transgressions.
She chose pride over progeny. But you need not bear her crimes.
Why, because I'm a mage?
It's no coincidence. The Arcane is waking up.
What has my mother done?
Yeah, can we please get into that?
A calamity is approaching, rivaling even the ancient rune wars.
What's a rune war?
I see salvation of your city, countless others beyond.
Okay.
Your birth, the entire course of your life was no accident. She hid you because you are that which she covets most.
Power.
A weapon.
That too.
Today, you've been born into a new family.
Oh, that's the face of the slave that her mom wanted her to kill. I just remembered.
Those untouched by the Arcane fear us.
Yeah, what is that?
Welcome to your future.
I don't want it. Now, don't be touching things without knowing what they are. Okay, just put it on then. These people literally captured you. And you're putting on jewelry they put you. That could be a whole collar.
The world is a
controls
perilous
you.
place for a solitary mage. Sister.
That was such a badass shot. Oh my God. Looks so good. Mel looks so good. So she's going to walk around with just like half her titties covered now? Is that what's going on? I mean, it's a badass outfit, but I'm just saying it could get cold. Bye, Zangief. Yeah, how many more gotta perish for whatever you got planned, Ambessa? You need to start asking yourself some hard questions. You lost your son, your daughter, Zangief here. Of course, this oh, he's draining him of blood. I was like, please don't tell me you're keeping him alive anymore. Let him die. Was that Victor? I mean, he went into a cocoon the last time.
His injuries were too severe.
Oh, no shimmer to fix this one, huh?
You promised a cure to death.
An outcome dependent on Victor's survival.
He did say that.
Doctor, your ingenuity deserves praise.
Victor.
That's terrifying.
The world I now see
Is more lucid than ever.
I knew Victor wasn't gone.
You can inhabit your followers.
Yeah, it's creepy.
I sense my twilight approaching.
Hopefully not for a very long time.
I will deliver you to this anomaly if you agree to empower every soldier I bring you.
I will evolve all those willing.
Yeah, even Sky's like, bro? What's going on? Do you see this ripple effect, though? Jace coming in and swinging hard like this. Now Victor's turned into a whole sociopath. Oh, Jace just showed up like that, huh?
Told the 3 dogs to patch you up.
Oh, that's what your name is. Where's Jace?
Where are the others? Kate? Jinx?
I saw it in her eyes. She will burn Piltover to the ground for my betrayal.
You can't blame yourself.
I don't need consolation.
Oh, she's like, my old girlfriend's back.
Arrested?
Oh, okay. Whew.
I can handle this, Maddie. Check on my father.
Yeah, Maddie, you really can't take Vi. Please go. Even in that state, she will pound you into the ground.
Can you blame me? How long were you sidled up with that shifty, self-serving war pig?
Ooh.
She oinked poison in your ear and you just ate it. I know!
We can't erase our mistakes. None of us.
True, but you can atone.
Who decides who gets a second chance?
Hit the door hard enough so Maddie goes flying. Eavesdropping. But I'm not surprised that Jinx turned herself in. She lost Vander and Isha in the same day. Actually, I keep forgetting she's not even eating.
She can't accept what you and I know.
Wow, the hair.
There are no happy endings.
She's picking her nails again.
Do what you came here to do.
Not so easy to kill someone who's willing, huh?
I've hated myself. I just don't have the energy for it any longer.
See? Hate is not worth it,
I
people.
didn't know your mom was there. I didn't know.
Like I said, Jinx is not a forethought kind of girl. She's more of an act out of emotion kind of girl. And if anything, Jinx is the kind of person that would have just taken you out, Caitlyn. She wouldn't have gone for your family. If that's what she was trying to do, you know? So nobody's noticed that this man's just glitching in and out of existence yet? No? Okay. She back? And since you're against all things arcane, does that mean you and Mel are done?
Jace? What happened to you?
Right? Where do we start?
Doesn't matter.
I think it does. Deeply.
Something happened to me, too.
He clearly doesn't care.
You're the reason we didn't die in the attack.
Oh, you figured it out.
How long have you known?
Literally like an hour.
I still don't fully understand.
Why just me? Why not save all of them?
Shut up, Jace.
One moment you're addressing the council and the next we're standing in rubble. I didn't have any greater awareness.
How can I know you aren't lying to me?
Why would you think I am?
Because you used me and Victor.
Oh, we're shifting blame. Didn't I say this was gonna happen? Bye, Jace.
Allow us a moment of civility, Jace.
What the hell just happened? I'm so confused.
How did you get in here?
You once benefited from my knowledge of this place.
This is your obsession. Everything you've done to these people, you did alone.
Matrix moves, though. You're just gonna... They just fixed this hall, Jace!
I would prefer to do so in peace. The Noxian has other intentions.
Mother?
Yep.
The arcane stirs within you.
Alright, we need to work on that.
This chain of events started with you.
It did. And that's why you're so angry.
But I now understand. The glorious evolution is destined.
You've lost me.
My partner died in this room.
That's kind of true. Okay, Mel said, not my man, not today. Not today. He's being a bit of a dick, but it's still my man. I love that her hair glows. It's so cool. Not both sides. Ooh, take it, Victor. Okay. Oh, not the crystal tears. Can we get that jewel out of your arm? Oh my gosh, no. This is such a mess, and it doesn't need to be. Even Sky's like, what are you doing? What are you doing, bro? Oh, he's pulling away from her.
Doctor, you may begin the process.
Damn. I mean, Victor's got his reasons. He don't want to die. What? She's had one of those the whole time? In there? Never mind what I said about the cell not the cell being too much before.
Killing is a cycle. One that started long before Vanda and me.
Episode title.
We build our own prisons.
Ooh,
Bars
deep.
forged of oaths, codes, commitments.
So true.
Walls of self-doubt and accepted limitation.
These are bars.
I thought I could break free by eliminating those I deemed my jailers.
Wasn't them, it was you.
I think the cycle only ends when you find the will to walk away.
Ghost Silco is definitely speaking truth.
Maybe we could rewrite your story like you did with Zahn. What do you think?
Sure, Vi.
It doesn't sound very convincing, but I don't think you're listening.
You're never gonna give up on me, are you?
That's what love actually means, girl.
You don't have to worry about me anymore. You don't need to feel guilty about being happy. You deserve to be with her.
What are you gonna do?
Actually, Echo has a different story
Break
to
the
tell you.
cycle.
Uh-oh. Oh, that scene. That Shimmer advantage, man, is something crazy. I'm pretty sure she just broke her arm. Damn, girl.
Sorry. I've been an idiot.
Yes.
And an ass.
Yes.
You're hurting too.
A bit.
Yet it has dictated the course of my entire life. I'm no more than a passenger. A life I spent in self-pity.
Well, take the reins then, girl. Get into the driver's seat.
But there's one thing I know in my bones. There is no force in this world that can control you.
That's true.
You will never be a passenger.
That is the realest thing Jason said. Very true. I get what she's saying, though. Her whole life was built on something that is definitely not true, but it's up to her now, and that power is hers, and not Ambessa's, not whoever her daddy was, hers. She's got to choose what she wants to do with it. Why is Savika here?
This isn't a fight for ideals or territory. It's a fight for humanity itself. Every one of you, top side and bottom, to aid us in this coming war. And it will be a war.
Interesting, because it never hit me that the thing that Jace brought in there, or sorry, that Victor sent in there is all that was in the future that Jace saw. They all look like that. That's the evolution he's talking about. Yeah, they're like, we still don't like you guys.
If you choose to flee, don't stop running. But I'm choosing to fight. And I pray that you will join me.
That's a fair choice. Although for the poor people, where are they gonna go? That is always the hard thing about a war situation. It's the poor people that suffer the most because a lot of them cannot just up and leave. The rich got that luxury, but those who don't have means, where are they gonna go? Yep, I'm gonna be on the first airship out of here too, personally. Oh, okay, girl. It's so funny how things are clicking in. That girl right there, she was in last episode, but she was also one of the followers of Jinx. But I just hit me that she's in the other reality. She's the bartender. Aw, she said, I'm staying. Sucks that this is what it took for some of you guys to unite. Why can't we destroy this again? I guess because he's probably scared I'll send him back to that hellscape. Never mind. No one's checked on the cell? Okay. No one noticed Vi's miss? Okay.
Had a feeling I might find you here.
Oh. Also poetic that Vi's in here when she spent so much time in here.
Sorry to say, you've grown a bit predictable.
It's true. Oh, we're just back to that now. What, aren't you with Maddie? What happened to Maddie? Knowing her freaky ass, she probably down here watching. But in a jail cell's kind of nasty. I'm just saying. You know how many germs are in there? Oh, someone's here to see Mama. I don't know. I'm scared about this because it's exactly what that mage said. Ambessa's going to look at that girl as a weapon. But I mean, Ambessa knew who her daddy was, who was clearly a mage. So was this a long-term plan that she had?
You're alive.
I know about the Black Rose.
I know the truth.
They're nothing but lies.
You taught me the best lies come wrapped in truth.
Exactly.
What really happened to Kino? So you let him die?
I carried him in my belly, nursed him from my bosom. He was all the sweetness in my heart. I pray you never suffer the agony of being forced to forsake one child to save another.
But how did this start?
Piltover has nothing to do with your feud.
Oh, but doesn't it?
Leave our shores. I will join you. We can avenge Kino together.
She don't care about Kino no more. This is about her pride.
These mages dangle over our heads a sword that impales us should we rise too high. Their very nature violates the most core of Noxian principles. The fact you've come to parley for your friends' lives prove you still lack the wrath necessary to defeat an enemy like the Rose.
Didn't hear her. She's right back to being narcissistic Ambessa.
An army that need never fear death.
But there's no humanity. Oh wow. Look how many he's already done.
You may begin the process.
That's so creepy.
Very well.
And what's hilarious is the doctor's thinking this is going to be the key to saving his daughter. There will be nothing left of his daughter. These people are not themselves, they're Victor.
This is goodbye.
Yep. Good for her. Why do I feel like Sky represented his humanity?
Our talks.
And now it's going to be gone.
No. You won't.
Exactly. What you're turning into, you're not going to care about that anymore. Oh, I really, 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 really want Singe to die. The amount of pain and suffering he has caused in the name of science. Like, let Vander die, God! And now he's losing. Yeah, this is Vander that we know is gone. All that's going to be left is Victor's burning hatred. That visual is insane. What has Victor turned into? That's a shame because he was handsome. That's it? Damn. Damn. Things is getting dark, guys. It's getting dark. It's not good. Killing is a cycle indeed. Wow. That was a deep episode. I kind of knew as soon as you heard the title it was not going to be all that warm. I mean, I guess the bright spot for some folks will be that Vi and Caitlin worked it out, but yeah, kind of a dark theme, but very realistic to kind of what this whole show's been about. And again, if you want to take the greater meaning of how war and battle and just how humans are just so cruel to each other for no reason kind of end up causing so much unnecessary pain. But let's kind of go back to, I guess, the start of things. We've got our girl Mel, who now knows the truth of her heritage, the truth of her background, that she's a mage, and she always has been. And I guess her father, whoever he was a mage. I'm wondering if it was a Black Rose mage. But anyways, there's so many details around that I would love to know, but I understand we ain't got time for all that in this series. But either way, see, one of the Black Rose mages basically wanted to, I guess the way they described it in the second act, it sounded like they captured Kino, but it's sounding like, from what Ambessa said, Kino actually went to the Black Rose. He was like, I'm really curious as to what's going on here. And I think the more that Kino started to learn about them, the more he probably realized that what his mother believed about mages was not right. Because from what I'm getting, Ambessa's biggest issue with them is the fact that mages can do some really crazy-ish. and the normal humans that don't have magical abilities can't always compete. But like the mage who was talking to Mel said, she's like, yeah, like you've got a lot of power in you, girl, but one dagger in the right place and you're done. Like you're not immortal, you're not invincible. And so I think that in the end, like that's really what it comes down to. And Ambessa doesn't like she said, she thinks that all soldiers should be equal on the battlefield. And I'm like, girl, life is not, like all of life shouldn't be viewed as a battlefield. That's your first problem. But even so, like that's the life, that's the world. There's always gonna be someone who's got an advantage over you in some way. No matter who you are, if you're super smart, I promise you someone's smarter. You super strong, I promise you someone's stronger. Or even if you are super smart and strong, there'll be somebody who can still do something better than you. The point is, life is not about the fact that all of us will be good at everything. That's not what true equality means. Equality just simply means that all of us have the access to the same things that allow us to live our best lives. That's what equality means. We're always going to have not divisions. We're going to have diversity in our skill set, in our abilities, and what we can do. But the whole point is if everyone works together, whatever you may not have as a strength, somebody else might have, and you can complement each other. That's the point. That's the point of community, greater community, meaning society, meaning the world. That's the way it should work. But instead, some people like Ambessa look at that and they hate it and they choose to be jealous of it and they choose to villainize it because they think it should be something that they have instead of thinking of how can this complement and make my life and world better. Right, but again, she did mention something that was very telling where she said that in her opinion, the mages swoop into anybody who rises too high. So I guess my point is I don't think mages or the Black Rose or whoever has been completely innocent. It sounds like they might have done some stuff in the past, flexed their power a little bit, potentially, because most people don't just, I mean, there is a chance that this is all just purely jealousy from Ambessa, but a lot of times this type of stuff happens because people with certain power abuse it and make the people who don't have it feel some type of way. So maybe that's what's happening here. But anyway, coming back to Mel, she has this conversation with her, this other mage, and this mage is basically letting her know that her mom apparently and that's what I've been wondering off and on since the beginning of this season is, did her mom know? And it looks like her mom had an idea, or at least knew that it was possible, but Mel's never really, I guess, shown anything to bring that out. And again, does that mean that her mom knew and hoped that her daughter didn't have it, or that she hoped she'd be able to shape Mel the way she wanted so she could use her as a weapon against? And I'm thinking it might be the latter, in that she didn't know if Mel would manifest these powers, but she was hoping she would have gotten enough of a mental hold onto Mel to eventually get her to the point where when she did manifest it, it would be for what Ambessa wanted, not necessarily what Mel wanted. And so anyways, we hear that she basically tells Mel that her mom has kept her hidden for a reason. It wasn't just to protect her, but also because she was hoping to use her as a weapon. And that the fact that the Black Rose is even coming to her now is more because she wants Mel to have the option to choose her path for herself, right? I mean, it doesn't erase what the Black Rose has done. Clearly they've done some damage to her family, and we see that she asked about Kino, and they were like, yeah, but it sounds like Kino is in fact dead, unfortunately. But it looks like basically this lady was saying like being a mage in this world is powerful. And how did she describe Mel's power? Like the description was really cool. Like she said, you are an empath, you can sense what people have, you're a mirror, but you're also a channeler, something like that. So it feels like Mel can absorb and do different things based on the arcane that she's exposed to, which is really cool. And also that she's able to sense through people and sense their lies. And apparently it sounds like the ability for her to see through illusions and all that kind of stuff, that part of her magic looks like it's been working like her whole life, which is probably why she rose to power so quickly in Piltover, is because she knew the right people to work with. She knew which people she could trust versus who she couldn't based on her ability. But again, she didn't know that was her ability. But anyway, it sounds like her power is pretty damn cool. And the way it manifested itself is so cool. The arcane lines on her now, oh, and I love that they're gold like her makeup, and that her hair glows when her powers are working. Like, I'm just like, I want more. I want a Mel spinoff right now. Anyway, calm. But yeah, so yeah, basically she told her as a lone mage in this world, it's going to be rough, because I think that Ambessa's feelings are not unique. I think people have from the sounds of things in this world, the opinion on mages is very polarizing. I guess some people are like mage cool versus mage evil, right? So she's basically letting her know that there's a coven available for her with the Black Rose if she wants it, essentially. She's like, you want to be with other mages? We're open to that. Like, we know how hard it is out here in these mage streets, but you know, if you don't, then just know that it's not the easiest time out there. I think that the Black Rose, of course they wanted to, and I said that for a few episodes now, that I think they're trying to recruit Mel when it comes down to it, and they probably tried that with Kino, but Kino didn't have any magical abilities, so that didn't work. But either way, I'm not mad at them because I agree with what they said, and that Mel needs to decide for herself. Now that she knows the truth of who she is and what she's capable of, she can now decide whether or not she really wants to continue being potentially her mother's weapon, or choose to forge her own path, or to go with the Black Rose of people who could teach her more about her abilities and I guess possibly help her grow them. So the point is, she's been given a choice, and that's something that Mel has not felt like she's had a lot of in her life. So I think that's really good for her. And so yeah, with that, she basically left and wanted to head back to Piltover. Now that she knows who she is, at least on that level, she can kind of figure out what path she wants to take going forward. And we see that she meets up with Jace, and obviously they both look at each other like, wow, we've been through some stuff. She's like, you look like you've been through some stuff. That was really her code for saying, you look terrible, go shave and wash immediately. And then Jace, being a dick, didn't I predict last episode that he was gonna blame Mel, say, oh, you were the one who used this, you pushed this, or like, no, sir. She encouraged you. You already were gonna do the hex tech research. She just gave you the permission you were looking for, so don't put that on her, okay? She didn't force you to go with that. She didn't force either of you, you or Victor, to continue on the hex tech path. You're both scientists, you're both curious, you were gonna do it with or without her endorsement. In fact, if she tried to stop you, you would have worked harder. We've already seen that. So anyway, that was not cute. Nor him saying, oh, why did you, and the thing that he, I guess now with his abilities, he's able to sense arcane in other people, because how did he know that she was a mage now? She didn't say nothing. He was like, you're the reason we survived, huh? And she was like, yeah, I figured that out. So I'm assuming that he can now sense, like Victor can do it, and like now anyone touched by the arcane can sense others that are touched by the arcane. That's what I'm picking up. But anyway, so he then goes on to blame Mel, saying, oh, why didn't you protect everyone? Why did you only protect me? I'm like, are you serious, bro? You think she had time to figure that? She didn't even know she had magical abilities till like 15 minutes ago, like one business day at most. And you expected her to know how to shield the whole damn room? Don't you think she would have done that if she knew how? Bro, really? So anyways, Mel took that a lot better than I would have, because I would have just used my arcane and slapped him across that room for even suggesting that ish. But anyways, she's like, she broke it down for him like he was 5. Like, bro, I had no idea. She's like, I've always sensed there was something in me, but I didn't know what it was. And obviously what happened in the room was a reflex. It wasn't me actively trying to use it. And again, she was closest. Who was she closest to in that room? You. You know what I'm saying? Like, if it was going purely on instinct, purely on her subconscious, she would have protected herself, obviously, first, and then whoever she loved the most or felt the most connection to, which would have been Jace, right? So anyways, so they kind of have that conversation, and he does not tell her about what happened to him, which I do think he needs to talk about immediately so people can understand where he's coming from, because he's going to come off real crazy real soon. This dead ass, all hex tech must die kind of viewpoint that he's taking right now without explaining to people why, right? I mean, he's not completely wrong, because what Victor is doing is absolutely what he foresaw, but here's what's interesting is that paradox of time, right? We've introduced the whole timelines and multiverse thing in this whole show. Here comes the paradox. Now, what happened in the future that Jace was in, would that have happened if he didn't kill Victor, right? Because one could say, like always saying, oh, he killed Victor to stop what happens in the future, but we see that Victor, his humanity died when Jace killed him, right? Because the Victor before that, he looked like he was willing to talk to Jace. The Victor before that would have been able, because we saw that Victor's new abilities, he was able to see into people's thoughts, into their memories, right? He did that. They specifically showed us him doing that to Singed, to see what was going on with his daughter and everything. So if Jace had given him 5 minutes and he could have seen, Victor could have gone and seen the future that Jace saw, I genuinely think old Victor would have been like, oh, okay, so that's what my evolution will do. That's not what I want, because that's not what Victor is wanting. That's not what he's thinking. At least that's what he thought before. He thought it's like, oh, I'm helping people. Look, all these people who were sick, I fixed them. Look, my body that was sick, it's fixed, right? So if he saw that when what he does goes rampant, that's what could happen, there's a chance, not a guarantee, but a chance that Victor could have been talked into, okay, let's figure out how to change this hex tech so it doesn't do that. Or maybe I will stop doing it in this, you know what I'm saying? Like, we could have had a different solution potentially is my point. But now that Jace went in, decided to be the law, and took Victor out, now Victor's humanity is dead. Now Victor is like, no, screw you, Jace. I believe Hextech is the future. I believe it's the next step. I think that what's happened to me thus far has been good. You're the ignorant one. You're the hateful one. And I'm gonna do this because I want what I want. I'm willing to let Ambessa, who he already knows is not up to any good, I'm gonna let her do what she needs to do and use me. And I'm gonna let Singed use me because I wanna get what I want out of this. So we're all gonna just do what we want now. Right? And I love that they showed Sky, who I think in this point has been the manifestation of Victor's conscience, the manifestation of his humanity. The fact that ever since he started fighting Jace like this, we've noticed she stepped back, she doesn't show up as much, she's not touching Victor, and then right down to the end where she even came after Jace took out the soldier that he was manifesting through in the room. We see that she went, because Victor was, all crouched down after he got knocked out of that body, and she went to touch his hands and he pulled back, right? It's like he pulled back from his humanity because he knew that his humanity was telling him, okay, maybe I don't do this. Maybe I try to talk to Jace. Maybe I still try. But he pulled back from that, like to say, I'm not doing that. I'm choosing what I want. I'm putting my desires first. Damn the consequences. And from that point, Sky basically became irrelevant to him. And we'll get to the whole thing with, their last moments. But coming back, we see that, that paradox I think is interesting. I do wonder whether or not if Jace hadn't tried to take Victor out, maybe the future that he's now putting into motion would not happen. Like, it's hilarious to think he's trying to stop it, but he might have been the one who actually kicked it off. Anyway, back to the room with him and Mel. They have that conversation. It gets interrupted because Victor's toy comes in, like I mentioned. They have that little fight. Victor tries to talk to Jace. Jace is not hearing it. Jace just wants him gone. And basically he's also saying, look, Victor, there's nothing to talk about. Like, if you're not anti-Hextech, if you're not trying to get to the Hex Chamber below to get more, because we know that in the when Jace returned, Sala was trying to bring more of the Hextech to Victor, right? He'd gone all the way there to get access to the chamber to get it. So, of course, Jace knew that that's where Victor was wanting to go back to, because whatever's in there, he thinks he's going to need to boost what he's doing even further. And basically, Jace is like, why don't you tell me that that's the real reason you're here? Stop trying to talk to me. And I do think Victor did want to talk to him, but Victor is also still determined to boost Hextech as he knows it to the next level. And then he also talks about Ambessa and basically saying to Jace, like, if you help me, then maybe we can turn on Ambessa and stop her from using this for what she wants. But of course we see Mel kind of like, huh? My mom? Are you talking about my mom? That's crazy. But she kind of knows better, right? But anyway, that whole battle ensued and that was really cool. My girl Mel she's trying to learn how to use her abilities, y'all. It was so cute. I mean, she's not there yet. Every time she uses it, the poor girl looks like she's about to pass out. So she definitely needs to work. She needs to work on her magic, unless that's the way it works. I don't know. I haven't seen any mages in this world. I don't know if every time they use the arcane, they get worn out. But either way, my girl not only protected herself, but when Victor had my guy dead to rights, and we see that when he was choking Jace out, you could see that Victor was kind of considering it, like, do I really want to do it? And again, I don't know if he would have killed Jace so much as maybe just knocked him out, but I think he knew that Victor was going to, or that Jace would continue to interfere with him. So I don't know. The facial expressions they kept showing with Victor when he was choking Jace, it kind of came across to me like he didn't really want to do it, but he kind of felt like this was what it came down to, if that makes sense. But then I don't know, you notice how it showed like there was something in like he had Jace over here and he was looking in the other direction at something. I don't know what that was. I don't know if that was him sensing Mel or what, but something kind of had him half distracted because I think he could have killed Jace quickly is my point. He had Jace like that. Whatever that construct is strong. He could have snapped Jace's neck like that if he really wanted to. So the fact that he was choking him out is why, like I said, I think he was trying not to go that route. But either way, we see that something happened and then my queen Mel said, not my man. Even though he's being a complete dick right now, that's still my man. And I did not come back through all of this for you to kill him in front of me. So she got in there and she used her powers. And I mean, between that and, it was enough to get Victor to let go of Jace. And then that was all they needed to thankfully eventually take down this manifestation of him. But at least now I think that helped Mel to understand the stakes that are happening because obviously she's been out of the loop for a while and a little bit more of why Jace is acting the way that he did. But anyways, we see that later on after everything calms down, Jace thankfully acknowledged that he was being a dick and an ass and he didn't need to act that way to her, and him trying to blame her for what happened in that room was stupid. But anyway, thankfully my queen was very forgiving and nice to him. He didn't deserve it, but she was nice to him and said, all right, I get it. Like, we've both been through some stuff. But anyways, she then explained kind of her side of what happened, you know, the fact that she didn't know about all this, but we see that she's now struggling because, like she said, like, I feel like my life's been mapped out for me the whole time, like since the day I was born. If I'm to believe what the Black Rose told me, my mom only had me to have a reserve weapon against these people that she hated at some point. And then there's the Black Rose, and you guys want to use me, but you want to use me to potentially stop my mom, but also to stop Hextech from what it could turn into, which the Black Rose is not wrong about that. The Hextech, the way that Ambessa is going to use it, is absolutely going to destroy the world. But digressing, she basically is like, I feel like I've been a passenger in my life this whole time, and that I've never been in control, and that I'm just here to be used, and it's just a horrible feeling. Like, I've got all this power, but it doesn't belong to me. And I do like that Jace did say that, at least before he went off, he basically said, girl, no, like, you are not a passenger. The woman that I know, you don't have to worry about that. Like, you've always had the power. You just need to know what you want so you can use it for what you want. And that's what I said. I'm like, maybe she has been in the passenger seat in the sense of always trying to live up to her mom's expectations and all that kind of thing, but now that she knows that she's got all this power within her, and not just the mage power, she had, even before that, she had enough of her own presence and power, and you know, the way she maneuvered. Jace is very aware of the fact that Mel's no pushover and that she's always been strong. Maybe not by her mom's standards, but she's always been strong. So I do love that he said that to her in the end, like, girl, you got the power, you just got to decide where you want to use it. So I think that was nice, you know. There's still definitely some love there, even though they're both clearly going through it right now. But anyways, we see that Jace actually called a major meeting with people from Piltover and Zon, and basically said, here's the situation. If we don't stop those people, and Bessa and her people, from coming in and hitting the chamber beneath this place, we are all dead. Basically, it doesn't matter if we're topsiders, bottomsiders, we're all going to get wiped out by Hextech if that woman gets close to this chamber. So we need to fight together, or if you're gonna leave, I respect that. Just, she's like, don't stop running, because this is going to spread like a disease if it gets that far. And so we see that some of the noble families did leave immediately, and I'm not surprised. Rich people run. They've got the money, they typically run, you know, they've got the ability to do that. But we see that some of the Zonites also did choose to stay. A lot of the soldiers chose to stay as well. And I think Mel decided to go and see her mom, which was something that she had to eventually deal with at some point. And that was an interesting conversation. I mean, and Bess is such an interesting character, guys, because you could see the genuine relief on her face that Mel was still alive. I mean, after what happened to Kino, I think she'd already kind of accepted it was very possible Mel was not coming back. But there was clear relief, but then, you know, it lasted for such a short amount of time, because when we see Mel basically trying to like talk to her mom, she's like, I know about the Black Rose now, Mom, I understand more. And I was like, no, it's a facade, you don't know what's going on. And she's like, no, you already told me that the best lies are wrapped in truth. So I love that she threw her words back at her, and that's when Ambessa couldn't really argue anymore. And that's when she gave the whole speech about her feelings of inequality. And again, we just see that after that, like, it was just interesting because Mel asked her, what happened to Kino? What's your version of what happened to Kino? And her mom said Kino got too curious and it ended up being his undoing. And curious to me means that Kino, like his sister, wanted to know what started this? What is the big deal? Why is this beef continuing? And you know, from what we can cobble together, something happened. My guess is he probably played with the arcane and it went badly. That's what I'm thinking. Or they tried to see whether or not the arcane was in him and it ended up killing him. But anyways, we see that when Mel kind of pressed about it, she asked her mom if that's what she say, like, is that what you wanted, or did you get Kino killed? And her mom slaps her, which I feel like that's the first time she probably ever did that. But this is a very interesting paradox with Ambessa, because on the one hand, she's so stubborn about what she believes to be right, like to the detriment of everyone around her, to the point where she doesn't listen to anybody. And yet, you know, she loves her family fiercely. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't think there's any question that she loves Mel, that she loved her son. Like, the way she described that after she slapped her and said, you know, I carried that boy, I birthed him, I nursed him. And what was the description I loved? She's like, every piece of kindness of me was in that boy, right? And I mean, looking at how strong and how hardened Ambessa presents herself, I really do think the softest we would have ever seen her was when she was, you know, those first months with her children, because, you know, that's when kids need you the most. And the fact that she kind of put down her spear, as it were, and mothered these children, even if it was only for a couple of months, that probably was all of the softness that Ambessa had that she poured into her kids. But anyway, seeing that, and I think that visceral reaction was true. I do think she loves Kino fiercely. I do think she loves Mel fiercely. But then in her mind, she said, I had to sacrifice him to protect you. And is that true, again, because she genuinely loves Mel, which again, I do think she does, or because she thought of the potential that Mel proved, because she knew that Mel's dad was a mage, clearly, right? So many questions swirling around the whole Medarda family drama, and like I said, I would love a whole spin-off of that because I would watch the crap out of it, but digressing. So they have their conversation, and Mel's basically trying to appeal to her mother, like, why are we still doing this? Like, give me a reason to why this is still happening. And essentially, Mbessa lets her know that nothing has changed. As far as she's concerned, mages need to be humbled, and she thinks that the ultimate soldier should never be afraid of death, and that makes no sense to me. Because that basically what she's saying is that you want to create perpetual warmongers. Like, right, the idea of soldiers, in my opinion, should be, okay, they're there to protect and they're there to maintain peace. But if you can get to a point of peace and protection, you shouldn't need soldiers anymore, right? Like, the idea of warmongering incessantly is crazy, but that's exactly what Mbessa is envisioning. And I get that because it's like she shaped her entire identity around being a fighter. So she can't imagine life of peace. She hates it. She can't handle it. And then when we hear Mel tell her, Piltover has nothing to do with your war. Why are we here? And her mom just kind of sidesteps the question because she knows she's sacrificing this whole place for her ambition. She doesn't give a damn about the people here. She doesn't even give a damn about anyone else. All she wants is her idea of the perfect soldier and the perfect war that could be waged forever. And it's crazy. It's nuts. And so anyways, at that point, I think Mel kind of figured out that her mom is kind of a lost cause. Like, there's going to be no convincing this woman, but what is she going to do? Because her mom basically still wants her to join. Like, she told her mom, like, she's like, look, like, take a look at what's happening here. I'm creating these ultimate soldiers. And we saw that Mel was freaked out by them, as she should be. But it's going to be down to Mel as to whether or not she's going to want to stand against her mom. Like, that's a horrible feeling and something that no one should ever have to go through. But I do think it's going to come down to that choice for her, or she's got the option of just leaving. That's also something she could do. But yeah, Mel's got a crossroads ahead of her, and it'll be interesting to see what she decides to do. And then we have what happened. We have Vi. Vi's alive, but she got banged up pretty bad by that blast, because we saw in the last act that she literally used her body to shield Jinx so that she wouldn't get hurt. And she survived, a little worse for wear, but she made it. And we find out that Jinx surrendered after it all happened. She didn't even fight. She didn't try to run away. She just said that, we find out from Caitlin that Jinx's main concern was that Vi was protected and taken care of. And that makes sense. We know that despite all the craziness with those two girls, they love each other fiercely. And anyway, we see that Vi's upset that her sister got arrested when it was all said and done. But honestly, I'm like, Vi, girl. I understand, girl, but come on. Come on now. Like, your sister is still, like, the most wanted in Piltover. She still did a lot of damage. Like, let's not forget any of that. Like, she's still technically a criminal. Please, girl. Come on. But anyway, her and Caitlin have a big argument over the fact that she thinks that Jinx has changed, that Jinx is not the way she was at the end of season 1. The fact that I think she's basically referring to how Isha kind of softened her up. And I do believe that. I think Isha brought out the softer side of Jinx for a while. And she's like, yeah, I don't think Jinx wants to do this war anymore. Like, I think she's different. We should try to work with her. We shouldn't be trying to lock her up. But understandably, like, Kate explained the situation and said it wasn't even a matter of her, like, wanting revenge in that moment. She just said that Jinx turned herself over, and all the soldiers and everyone who's been involved in this war from the Piltover side have known that this girl has been their target for over a year. So of course they took her to jail immediately, right? And so anyways, we see that Vi ended up going and trying to, well, actually first, Jinx is not doing well. We see that she's not eating. She's just in a depressive episode, understandably, because once again, the people she loved died right in front of her. And again, at the hands of one of her inventions. Oh God, history repeating itself with her is not fun. But anyways, we see she manifests Silco, because that's something that she does when she's trying to work through things. And Silco's dropping truth bombs left, right, and center, basically telling her, look, girl, death and killing existed long before you were born, long before me and Vander were born. And it is a cycle, right? It's a cycle of violence. When one person wrongs another, that person wants revenge, and that person wants revenge, and it just goes. And so anyways, I love the speech that he gave about how as humans we create our own prisons. That's so true. Like, there's no prison on earth that will be worse than the mental prison we can create for ourselves. And he talks about all the different things that create prisons, whether it's our expectations, it's our dreams, it's our moral compasses, or what we think our morals should be, what we think we need to be to fit in. all kinds of things. But he basically says, you know, those bars are put there by us. And we always feel like we need to take care or hurt or whatever external things to break the prison. And he gives the example where he said, I thought I had to take out all the people that I thought created my prison, i.e. Vander, i.e. some of the other people in the Undercity or the Piltover. Like, he's like, I thought I had to take them out to unlock my prison, when really I was the one who had the key the whole time. And he's like, the only way to stop the cycle of any kind is you have to step outside of the circle. You need to get away from it. You need to make a different choice, right? That expression of the definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over again and expecting a different result. The only way to stop a cycle that you're in that you don't want to be in is to do something different. Stop the same things you're doing. So we see that that's what she was thinking and what the conclusion she came to. And we see that she still has one of her Hextech balls. It looks like she put it in her mouth to smuggle it into prison. And I guess she's been deciding what to do with it. But anyways, we see Vi comes down, and Vi basically said, look, I will sneak you out of here. Let us go and we can change things. Like, let's go back to Zon and see what we can do to fix all this damage. And poor Vi just wants, she wants her old sister back so bad that she didn't even pick up on the fact that when Powder was like, yeah, sure. Or Jinx was like, yeah, okay. Like, that was the most non-committal okay ever. Like, I could have told her sister didn't mean it. Girl, but poor Vi wanted it so bad, she didn't even care. She just ran in there and, you know, she just wants her baby sister back. And you see that instead, Jinx decides to lock her in there to keep her from getting followed and basically said, look, I'm gonna end the cycle on my own. She's like, don't feel guilty. Don't feel like you need to fix me. Be happy, be with Caitlyn. I'm just gonna go and end this now. I don't know what she's planning, because like the fact that she kept looking at that Hextech ball is scary. But if there's anybody who could potentially interrupt Victor's plans, I do think it's Jinx. And possibly Echo when he comes back. So we'll have to see what she's up to. But now, once again, Jinx is in the win, and we'll have to see what she's up to, I guess, in the final episode. And then we see that Caitlyn eventually finds Vi in the cell because she knew that she would go and see her sister when she got a chance. And yeah, to make a long story short, they make up, right? Basically, she says she knows that Vi's very predictable, and that's why she's not mad about it, but she just kind of let Vi go through it because Vi kind of has to do things her way in order to figure things out for herself. But anyway, that was kind of what happened down there. And so outside of that, now we see that Piltover is preparing for war. They're basically preparing to try to stop whatever Victor's little super soldiers are and Ambessa's Noxians from coming and getting to the Hextech room, because Jace is convinced that if that happens, everything they know is going to be over. Everything he's been trying to avoid will end up happening. And so that's kind of where we left things, with some people choosing to leave, some of the Zonites choosing to fight. And I really love that scene of when the Zonites are crossing the bridge that before would have been war, would have been shooting, would have been a lot of animosity. Instead, we see some of the soldiers actually taking their hats off because they're like, we respect that. Like, you have no reason to come and try to help us after what we've done to you. So yeah, as I said in the episode, it's sad that this is what it took for them to get to a point of mutual respect at the very least. It took the fact that everything might end up disappearing if they don't. But that's what can happen sometimes. Sometimes it takes extreme measures to bring opposing sides together. So yeah, another great episode, and yeah, leading up to what I think is going to be a fairly explosive finale. I see it's actually going to be the longest episode of the season, so yeah, final one, I'm ready for it, but I'm also not ready, and I've enjoyed this so much. But I hope you guys enjoyed watching along with me. If you did, please show some love, and I will see you in the next one.